He'll be some sort of evil villain that'll reveal his plan to destroy the Earth.
Let's light it up.
Hi there, I'm Beth and this is Jared.
And in this video, we're going to be reacting to a couple of commercials that I've picked out. So I've seen these commercials already, but Beth hasn't. So this is going to be an initial reaction for her. And we're going to be rating these commercials from 1 to 10 as far as how disturbing we think they are. So here it goes. So far, just to recap, this happened on December of 2019. So I think that was interesting. And they made a point of showing that this was at the secret T-Mobile laboratory. So we have these two guys here. They're like mad scientists or evil supervillains. This 5G button that's covered in caution and even has a cover over it so that you can't accidentally hit it. It's one of those buttons that you don't want to press unless it's an absolute last resort.
I'm looking forward to this.
Modulating frequencies now.
It's time.
Normally on any movie that you watch, if someone shows up like this, they show him to kind of build anticipation for who is this guy. I don't know who he is. If you know who this guy is, leave a comment. But normally in a movie, he'll show up further along in the story and he'll be some sort of evil villain that'll reveal his plan to destroy the Earth.
Let's light it up.
Are you ready, Neville? Pre-check.
Check.
Check. Okay, Neville.
In T-minus 3, 2, 1. Ready to launch. Hit the button.
Here we go.
It's working.
It's working.
Nationwide 5G is live.
Yeah. And we're just getting started.
We'll wait until they see what's next.
So, the Emperor is in charge.
Soon, my friend. Very soon.
That's pretty disturbing. That's like a 9. Because they launched this weapon of mass destruction.
From the Emperor of T-Mobile.
And the bad thing about it is it's like they could come back at us and they could be like, oh yeah, you guys all thought this was a joke. But no, no.
It is a secret to world domination. I know it. This commercial says it.
So they launched this weapon of mass destruction that's going to usher in worldwide mayhem. I mean, I'm really surprised that this hasn't been taken down. This is still on YouTube. Because if you think of what happened after December 2nd, 2019, it's like worldwide mayhem did really ensue. So this is just crazy. This is pretty disturbing. That's a 9.
I mean, at least it was honest that it's part of an evil plan. I mean,
But that's pretty disturbing, isn't it?
I'll give it an 8.
Okay. I'm sticking with my 9. I think that's pretty disturbing. What about for entertainment value? What would you rate it?
Oh, it was very entertaining.
Okay.
I'll give it a 10 for that.
Now let's move on to our next commercial.
Small towns across America have been left behind in wireless coverage.
We have a lot of issues with our cell service, calls dropping, and areas where we don't have internet.
Where I work is pretty rural, and I don't really get any phone service. You get what you get.
T-Mobile believes no town should be left behind. That's why we've been investing billions to bring our award-winning 5G network to small towns just like yours.
That's a 10. That's a 10. So that's not the way radio frequencies work. And so this is very disturbing. If they wanted to get cell phone service to small towns, they could have used 4G to do that. They have other intentions with 5G, and it's obvious that they do. They're interviewing these people from small towns as if 5G is somehow going to help them. So the reason why this commercial is so disturbing is that the higher the frequency is, the less distance a wave can travel. And they're not telling you anything about that. So if they were really interested in getting cell phone service to these small towns, they wouldn't be using 5G to do it. The truth is that if you're getting 5G reception on your phone, it means you're within 1,800 feet of a 5G antenna. So you just really have to install a lot of antennas in order to get 5G. So this commercial is just totally misleading, and that's disturbing.
Yes, very. And boring. It was very boring. Which is disturbing also.
Yes. So now we're going to show from a previous video our more in-depth discussion between Beth and I about 5G. I saw a commercial for 5G, and it said that upgrading to a 5G phone was, quote, the upgrade of a lifetime. This commercial, however, presented no advantages of having a 5G phone. So we don't want to let advertisers just tell us that we need something without knowing the facts. More than 240 scientists who have published peer-reviewed research on the biologic and health effects of electromagnetic fields, or EMFs, which is what cell phone signals are, signed the International EMF Scientist Appeal, which calls for stronger exposure limits. The appeal makes the following assertions. So Beth's going to read now from the International EMF Scientist Appeal.
Yes. It says, numerous recent scientific publications have shown that EMF affects living organisms at levels well below most international and national guidelines. Effects include increased cancer risk, cellular stress, increase in harmful free radicals, genetic damages, structural and functional changes of the reproductive system, learning and memory deficits, neurological disorders, and negative impacts on general well-being in humans. Damage goes well beyond the human race, and there is growing evidence of harmful effects to both plant and animal life.
So this quote was talking about EMFs in general, but we're going to be talking about 5G specifically. 5G employs millimeter waves for the first time, in addition to the microwaves that have been used for older cell phone technology. Short-term exposure to millimeter waves can have adverse physiological effects on the peripheral nervous system, the immune system, and the cardiovascular system. Now, 5G isn't going to replace 4G. It will accompany 4G for the near future and possibly over the long term. So if there are synergistic effects from exposure to both 4G and 5G, our overall risk will increase. Additionally, in general, 5G network signals can reach up to about only 1,500 feet, and that's without any obstructions. So 5G requires many cell antennas. To put it simply, if there's reason to be concerned about EMF exposure in general, why would we just add more and more and more of it, which is exactly what 5G does? I recently saw a commercial for a cell phone provider in which they were interviewing people from small towns who were saying that they had hit or miss cell phone service. but it was 5G to the rescue. So this is the story that they're telling about why the world needs 5G. They're saying that 5G is going to allow people in small towns to have cell phone service. Here's the thing though, 5G technology uses high frequencies. And the higher the frequency is, the less distance the wave is able to cover. So if someone was really concerned about allowing people in small towns to have more reliable cell phone reception, the logical way to do this would be with 4G, since 4G covers more distance. And there would be no reason to wait for the invention of 5G to make this a priority. Should it surprise us that cell phone companies are being deceptive in their advertising? Well, this reminds me of an ad about being able to get an iPhone for $1. That's a really good deal, isn't it? $1. But if you actually know the facts about what this deal is, only because you got that iPhone for $1, they're now going to charge you a monthly access fee. And by the time you're done paying for that monthly access fee, you would have been better off probably getting that iPhone anywhere else. So why is it even legal to say that you can get an iPhone for $1? I'm not sure. But back to 5G. It's suspicious that we have these misleading advertisements presenting us with reasons about what's so good about it. So I did a quick Google search to see some other reasons about why they're saying 5G is so good. And the first thing I came across was Verizon's website. So we'll be reading from that now.
So the website says, considering the higher volume of small cells deployed in a 5G ultra-wideband area, your day-to-day will likely include faster speeds and the ability to do things like download movies in seconds rather than minutes.
So my response to that is, can't we wait a few minutes for our movies to download? Can't we do something else while we're waiting for our movie to download? Now, on other websites, we've seen things like there's games that require these high speeds, maybe virtual reality or other type of games that would require these higher speeds. And so my response to that would be, okay, if we're interested in playing these games, well, can't the persons that want to be able to play these games buy the technology to be able to do that and install it on their own property? That, or maybe have designated public areas where people could play these games. I'm not sure that it's even a good thing to just be able to play these games everywhere, because then you might have some people that don't know what's going on. What's this person doing? They don't understand that they're playing a game. I think it should be limited to have this technology in designated areas, not just everywhere.
I would get distracted playing the game and I could see me like running over things or tripping over things. Yeah, and then you're getting all these signals all the time. The website goes on to say, 5G's sheer speed and capacity will help assist with greater connectivity to high-density regions.
So my response to this is the exact opposite of that advertisement that I was telling you about earlier. The truth of the matter is it's actually high-density regions that would benefit from 5G. And interestingly, I've never seen a commercial where they're interviewing people that are complaining about how they live in such a high density region that they're having problems. So I'm not sure how much of a problem this really is, but even when people do have problems because there's just too many cell phones around and so their signals are breaking down, then why don't we just install this in those high density regions? This isn't a reason to go and install 5G everywhere.
No, we need EMFs all the time, right on us at every moment. It says 5G has the potential to allow people to connect in more ways than ever before. 5G's low latency could help eventually enable driverless cars and even remote surgery. More devices than ever before will be able to communicate amongst each other almost instantaneously, which should mean improvements in auto and pedestrian traffic management.
So my response to this is I just don't know if I'm really buying the narrative about the self-driving cars and the robo-surgeons. I don't know how realistic that's an actual reason to why they're doing this.
That actually really scares me. I don't know. What if this technology goes wrong? You're in a surgery and the reboot happens on the device.
So we're about to get off this soapbox about 5G. Just something to think about before we go out and get a 5G phone. But the other thing that we can do is we could sign a petition about this. And that petition is at www.5gspaceappeal.org. And we could sign a petition to try to stop 5G.
Yes.
Thanks so much. We hope you enjoyed this video. We've got some other videos here on the screen on health and wellness topics. Let us know what you think about this. Leave a comment. And if you give us a thumbs up, we'd really appreciate that also.
Thanks again. Bye. Why is it every time there's cell phone reception happening, it's always this pink, strange thing that's spreading